9 Rogue. Nathaniel's POV. I can't help but sigh loudly as I enter my bedroom, having just gotten back from the Iron Wolf moments ago. My mind is stuck on how Ivy had said she didn't hear the rogue wolves in the forest. She has a wolf, does she not? I didn't smell anything off about her, but it's very odd that she wouldn't be able to sense any danger near her. The fact that she froze up with the mere mention of a rogue wolf makes me concerned as to what could have happened to her to make her that afraid. Most she-wolves can hold their ground well enough. You must protect her. Ignoring Kiba, I walk into my bathroom and turn the shower on as hot as I can handle before undressing and stepping inside. As I start to wash up from the day, my mind then drifts back to feeling her hands splayed over my chest and her reactions to me backed against that wall. It felt so right having her touch me, and the calmness I felt from her being close was unexplainable. They always say that your mate is your other half, that a mated pair balances each other out. Now that I have felt her close to me, I'd say it's a correct statement. I've sometimes struggled with my alpha blood, and it's taken a hell of a lot of training on my part to keep myself calm-headed in heated situations. I thought that Kiba and I would have lost all sense of control when Ivy encountered us, but it was the complete opposite. I didn't know I could feel such things for another. I want to get to know her, but I have a feeling in my gut that it won't be easy. From our conversation earlier at the bar, I could tell she was reserved in talking to me, and she clearly didn't feel the mate pull like I had. So many questions. Hopefully I'll get some answers to them soon. I exit my bathroom having finished with my shower, and head into my closet to grab a pair of loose black sweats and a t-shirt. I'm just pulling my shirt over my head when there is a knock at my door. I grab my towel and begin to dry my hair slightly, waiting to be addressed. Alpha? It's me, Tobias. Come in, I say, tossing the towel on a nearby chair and heading to the mirror hanging on my wall near my closet. I run my hands through my damp hair as Tobias enters. I turn and see him holding a piece of paper. He looks me in the eyes before approaching and handing me the paper. There's been another rogue attack, he states plainly, and I sigh loudly, scanning over the report. 10 casualties, including the Alpha and Luna? Fuck! Tobias shakes his head in disbelief. That's now the 3rd attack this year alone. Not to mention the others that have happened in previous years. Rogues have never been this much of a problem before. I fold the paper in half and walk over to place it on my desk across the room near my bed. I know, something is going on, and we need to get to the bottom of it before more wolves die. Can you organize a pack meeting for tomorrow evening? The pack needs to be vigilant about this. I won't have them be unprepared in case the rogues get some idea to attack here on my lands. Of course, Alpha. I'll get it done straight away. Thank you, T. I'm going to get in contact with my parents and the other Rains. Safe to say this is becoming a problem that needs the full cooperation of everyone. I agree, Nate. From what I've heard, there's been some increase in rogue activity in the other territories, but no attacks yet. Seems like they're only in the northern continent as of now. Just has to be my territory, doesn't it, I say, and I run my hand down my face in frustration. A few days later. Ivy's POV. I haven't been able to get my mind off Alpha Nate. What the hell is wrong with me? Was it because he treated me with respect and didn't look down on me as everyone else in my pack does? Is it because he made me feel like I'm living a normal life for a few minutes, like I was at peace? I scoff as I sit on my bed in my room, seriously wondering if I am going to crazy to still be thinking about another wolf in more capacity than I thought I had, and that he's an alpha to boot. I must really be going nuts. It's the middle of the afternoon, and I finished all my work around the pack fast today, which I am thankful for because now I can have some free time to myself. Neither Cole nor Alaric got on my case today, which I am also thankful for. They're probably busy prepping for the Alpha King's visit next week, and then the mating ball after that. I stand and stretch, hearing my back crack in response, and then proceed to head out of my bedroom and down the hall to my music room that Kane and Genevieve had set up for me in one of the extra bedrooms. My keyboard is in there, as well as my acoustic and electric guitar, some old recording equipment, and some other electronic stuff that is Kane's. I'm not the best at guitar, but I've been practicing. I'll get there. The music room is plain, but it's still one of my favorite places to be in the house. It has light gray walls with some black and blue soundproof padding placed sporadically over, with a large window at the back of the room that looks out into the forested area that surrounds the packlands. The floor is plush white carpet, and there are a couple of navy-colored smaller couches in here for relaxing. I sit down at the keyboard and stretch and crack my fingers before letting them freely splay across the keys. As much as I love my keyboard, I would love to play on an actual acoustic piano in a large venue where the sound could echo for days. Half smiling, I place my fingers in chord positions and begin to play small warm-up chords to get the blood flowing through my fingers. Once I feel I'm ready and warmed up, I go straight into some of my favorite songs, playing them effortlessly. My mind drifts into a peaceful state as I continue to artfully glide my fingers over the keys, the music filling me up and allowing me to break away from what reality is for me here. But those dark, harrowing thoughts return, and I wonder if I'll ever get a reprieve for what is my life. Have I ever told you how much I love when you play? I stop and turn to see Kane standing in the doorway of the music room, smiling at me. I return the smile. You have, but thank you for still saying it. Kane then comes and joins me on the piano bench, sitting on my left side. What's on your mind? Kane asks me, his chestnut brown eyes narrowing in on me with a concerned look. Just the usual. Wondering if life for me will change at all. It's getting harder for me to stay here. I'm tempted to leave. I poke out some short notes on the keys as I wait for his response. And become a rogue. You know that would give Cole another reason to hunt you down. You must stay strong, Ivy. I know it's easier said than done, but please, for Evie and me, just try. I look at him, seeing the evident pain in his face and in his voice at the thought of me leaving. I'm trying. That's the best I can do. That's all you need to do is try. We've got your back, you know that. I nod and place my hands back onto the keys into chord positions. Kane places his left hand up on the keys and looks at me with a stern look. Okay, teach this musically challenged wolf some notes. I smile to myself as I reach over and adjust his fingers into proper position. I play notes with my own left hand and then getting him to mimic it. I chuckle as he mumbles under his breath how his fingers are cramping, but he continues following my lead, all while distracting me from my thoughts. Thank you, my friend. 10 defeated. Ivy's POV. It's too hot. I place my hand above my eyes to shield them from the harsh sunlight that is out in full force today. It's beaming down over me, and I feel the intense warmth on my skin. I'm currently tending to the garden at the Packlands, as it's one of the many duties that Cole has assigned me with. I don't mind it, but some days it can be back-breaking work, like today, especially in this heat. The garden itself is a marvel of beauty, a large open area that has a wide assortment of vegetables, flowers, and fruit trees. There are small greenhouses for different crops and a large shed for storage near the entrance. It's located close to my house too, so I don't have to rush to get where I'm going on days I work here. As much as I enjoy working in the garden, it is right beside the Pack training grounds, so again I feel pangs of hurt when I see the warriors and trainees outside in the field. Thankfully, they aren't out today, so I could focus on my tasks here and not wallow in self-pity, at least not at this moment. I pull up the basket I am holding, and I rest it on my hip to stabilize it as I walk towards the shed to deposit the cucumbers and squashes that I just picked. As I move into the shed, I take each item and place them into their respective storage crates until my basket is empty once again. Rinse and repeat. I continue harvesting for a while, getting into my groove until I hear a voice calling my name. Ivy. I stop what I'm doing and turn to see Alaric standing just outside the perimeter of the garden, eyes focused intently on me. Great. I walk over to him, avoiding eye contact at first and placing the basket down by my feet. Beta. Can I help you? My tone of voice is a little snippy, and it doesn't go unnoticed as Alaric steps inside the fenced perimeter and closer to me. Curb that attitude before I'm forced to do something about it. Forced. Yeah, right. You enjoy it, motherfucker. We stand in silence for a short moment as I don't respond. Alaric then continues to speak. You need to come with me. Alpha wants to go over things concerning the Alpha King's pending arrival. Why, I question, and Alaric scowls at me. Because he does. You don't need to question anything, nor do you have the right to. I'm not done here in the garden. You know you can come back afterwards. Enough with the excuses. You are coming with me now. Alaric raises his voice with the last statement, and I sigh and roll my eyes. I'm so tired of this bullshit. Alaric comes up to me, kicking the basket by my feet away from me and getting in my face. I don't waver as he stares me down, not giving a shit about looking him in the eyes anymore. "Who the fuck do you think you are? Do you want a beating?" he challenges me, and I maintain eye contact and glare at him intensely. "I am Ivy Pierce, and did you forget that I could kick your ass anytime I wanted?" "Not without your wolf, you can't." "Then I guess you better hope that I don't get her back anytime soon." We continue our stare down, and Alaric finally caves and steps away. "Let's go." "Fine," I reply curtly and walk past him quickly, but I'm yanked back roughly by my arm. Alaric twists it in a god-awful angle, and then kicks my right knee and I buckle and hit the ground hard on both my knees. He leans down behind me while continually twisting my arm to the point where I feel it's going to break. I grit my teeth through the pain. "Don't you ever do that to me again. Or next time, I will break your arm." He lets go and walks off ahead of me. I stand, holding my arm, rubbing it as I walk behind the asshole to the pack house. "You know, if I had cells here, I would rip your fucking throat out for what you've done to me over the years." When I walk into the pack house behind Alaric, I see Cole and his mate Alora speaking to each other in the main hall. Alora was a beta's daughter from another local pack. Cole and she met when he had visited her pack, and she came back here to live at Red Moon by his side as his Luna. She's a raging bitch, and honestly her and Cole deserve each other. I don't know how anyone else could have handled the tornado that is her. She's tall with long, blonde, straight hair, although it's braided back today. To me, she looks like a doll. Fake nails, tan, eyelashes, and God knows what else. Just screams fake bitch. Cole can have her. Speaking of Cole, it's then he looks over and sees us approaching. He kisses Alora and she walks past, shooting me a dirty look as she leaves. "I don't like you either, bitch." Ivy. Here we go again. I'm not in the mood to deal with Cole either, but I keep my eyes glued to the floor, having already pushed the boundaries enough for today. I'm surprised Alaric hasn't mentioned our spat that just happened moments earlier, but I'll take it. "You asked for me," I say quietly as I stand there, and I'm surprised at what he says next. "Yes, Ivy, you can look at me." For now I raise my head and look at him tentatively, prepared to shoot my eyes down in case it's a trick. He's done that to me before, and the outcome was not pretty. "The Alpha King is coming in a few days, as you know." I nod. Time has been flying since the last time I saw him at Iron Wolf, and to be honest, I've been having increased anxiety about him coming here to Red Moon. There is no way that he won't notice what is going on here. Do I say something, or just leave it be? "You will be responsible for whatever the Alpha King needs while he is here, but you are in no way to tell him or even hint towards anything that happens in this pack. He is not to know about inner pack workings unless I decide to say something. Is that clear?" I nod again, knowing that the consequences of saying anything will be severe for me. Fuck. Also, Cole begins, and I dread what else he's about to say. I wait in anticipation, and needless to say, it's a shock what comes out of his mouth. "You're no longer going to be staying in the house with Genevieve and Kane after the Alpha King visits." What? Why, I say out loud, not being able to contain my surprise. "They support you too much. They helped you do the cleaning in the new building, did they not?" It was impossible for me to finish on my own, I exclaim, feeling anger bubble up under the surface. "He's not taking them away from me, no fucking way. You are solely responsible for your tasks that are given. You are not to be assisted. Since they have been helping you, you are no longer to stay with them or be in contact with them. You will be made a small room in the new building, and that is where you will live after next week." You can't be serious. Cole looks at me, clearly enjoying my upset state. Yes, I am serious. It's final. But I go to protest, and he holds his hand up. The matter is settled. You know what is expected of you. Goodbye. I look between Cole and Alaric, and they both seem as if they're ready to break out in laughter. I turn and leave the pack house, feeling angry but defeated. How am I going to survive here without Kane and Genevieve? They're the only people helping me hold it together. As I walk back to the house that will no longer be home soon, a thought pops into my mind, and it doesn't take long for it to take root. I'm leaving Red Moon and never coming back. 11. The plan. Ivy's POV. "What in the actual fuck does Cole think he's doing?" Genevieve says as she sits down on our gray couch in the living room of our house, well, soon to be their house. I sigh. He knows you guys help me, so he's trying to take away any assistance I may get and replace it with only me getting in trouble if you guys do help. He's trying to continually isolate me from everyone else. I reply as I sit down myself. I'm still in shock mode from the bomb that Cole dropped, and of course I came home and told Kane and Genevieve everything. There's no way I couldn't. They're just as pissed as me and cannot believe that Cole would stoop to this. I swear he's going to get a rude awakening when the Alpha King comes to visit. There is no way that Alpha Nathaniel would look at this pack and say it's running smoothly. It's a fucking shit show here. Kane says in a strained voice, his eyes darting between Genevieve and me. I know he's raging at this new revelation, but I haven't even told them I'm leaving yet. They both continue the conversation, and I tune out slightly, wondering if I should tell them now. I need to plan my escape, and I sure as hell will need their help doing it. I don't think I could pull it off on my own, and if I got caught, I'd be dead. I should tell them now. Get the second wave of shock over with. I train my gaze on the two of them talking, and waves of emotion hit me like a ton of bricks. I won't see them anymore. The two that have had my back all through life and what it is now. I hate to leave them, but after next week, I'll have nothing else to really look forward to. I will be completely isolated, and I don't know if I could push through that. I want to give myself more credit, but my inner strength has dwindled. I'm not the same person I used to be, and I am slowly losing more and more of myself as days go on. Which is why I have to leave. I clear my throat and wait for both Kane and Genevieve to look at me. My heart is pounding so fast in my chest as I look at them. Here goes nothing. I'm leaving Red Moon. As expected, their eyes go wide and Genevieve gasps and then shrieks, "You're what?" I'm leaving. I can't live here anymore. Ivy, you can't. Cole will hunt you down. You'll be on the run for the rest of your life. Are you sure you want to put yourself through that? Kane says with his full attention on me. I meet his gaze and shake my head. I don't see any other option. I'd rather be running than stay here and be subjected to whatever else is coming my way. Without Sellers, you'd have a difficult time out there. You know that, right? I hate to say it, but you're pretty much just a human girl without her, Genevieve states with a solemn look on her face. She's not wrong. Having cells would give me a better chance of surviving outside the pack. What do you guys want me to do? I don't think I could handle staying here and not being able to see or talk to you both. You both know I'm barely holding it together at this point. After 6 years of this bullshit, I've reached my limit. My voice shakes with emotion, and I see tears welling up in Genevieve's eyes. Her and Kane look at each other and then back at me. What do you need us to do? Kane says steadily, his face like stone. Help me escape without anyone knowing I'm gone. 2 days later. It's the day before I leave Red Moon for good. Genevieve, Kane, and I decided on me leaving when the Alpha King comes, as everyone will be too distracted with his arrival to notice that I've slipped past the pack boundaries and into the night. The Alpha King is scheduled to arrive tomorrow evening just before dinner, and that's when I'll go. The three of us have been scrambling to get things packed away for me, but we managed. I have a large backpack filled with some food, water, and other essentials, and I've taken all my savings from working at Iron Wolf and other side jobs, so I should be okay money-wise until I can get myself settled far away from here. I thought that I would leave the northern continent, but realized that would take more than what I can do now. So I'll get settled somewhere remote and figure it out from there. The full plan. Do all my chores for the day as usual to keep up appearances. Attend the meeting before the Alpha King arrives, then walk back to the house. Kane and Genevieve will tell anyone who asks that I went to relax, as I wasn't feeling well. Grab my bag in my room that's close to my unlocked window that faces the entrance to the packlands. Sneak around the pack entrance and head into the forest, with hopefully no one being the wiser. I look at my bag that is packed, placed in its correct spot, and I sigh loudly, nerves making themselves completely known as my heart starts to pound. Can I do this? I say out loud as I stand and exhale deeply and walk out of my room to see Kane and Genevieve near the front door of the house. I only catch the end of the conversation. We will. Thank you. Kane closes the door and him and Genevieve turn to look at me, their faces draining of color. I've rarely seen Kane be affected by something like this. Like he's scared. Oh no. What is it? What's wrong, I ask, my voice squeaking with panic. There's a short moment of silence before Genevieve speaks. Our plan isn't going to work. My eyes widen and I state at her, bewildered. We put so much work into it. Why won't it work? Tell me, who was at the door? My heart is pounding out of my chest as I wait for her response. It won't work because she pauses to take a deep breath. Because the Alpha King is coming today, a whole day earlier than planned. Kane adds, Cole is in panic mode as things aren't ready, and he needs the whole pack to get everything prepared, which includes you, if you don't show. He won't be there until the evening though, right? I could still help and slip away, I try to reassure them. Or maybe myself. No, Ivy. He's almost here now, Kane states plainly, and I swear my jaw drops to the floor. Well, fuck. 12 emergency. Ivy's POV. My mind scrambles as I try to process. What the hell am I going to do now? I say out loud, my voice filled with panic, and rightfully so. Kane walks over to me and pulls me into a hug, squeezing me tightly. We will figure it out, Ivy. We just might have to postpone until we get a better opportunity. We part, and I raise my eyes to look at Kane, tears threatening to fall. Will there even be one? I know it's hard to think that you have any chance now, but you've got us. We will figure it out. But for now, we need to go to the pack house and keep appearances up. Okay, he states, and I nod. I take a deep breath to calm myself. Okay. Kane turns and walks to the door where Genevieve is waiting still. I approach them, and we all walk out of the door together and head for the pack house, with me still trying to get over the shock of this new development. Once we arrive at the pack house, Genevieve is pulled away to help with God knows what, and then Alaric approaches Kane and me. He doesn't glance at me, instead talking to Kane directly. Ivy is coming with me. Cole is requesting her for her task. Please go assist the pack warriors in preparing the grounds and security patrols. Kane turns and looks at me, his expression clearly speaking to me, asking if I'll be okay. I nod at him. Go, I'll be fine. He turns and walks away, but not without another glance towards me, his face full of concern. I wonder what my task is. Alaric grabs my arm roughly and pulls me with him. I don't say anything, just follow his lead, and in a matter of seconds, we're in the main foyer of the pack house again, where Cole hit me a while ago. Speaking of, I spy Cole standing to the right of the grand staircase, speaking to a couple pack warriors. Alaric addresses him as we approach. Alpha. I have Ivy. I avert my eyes as usual, until Cole steps towards us and grabs my chin, forcing me to look at him, his amber eyes narrowing in on me. As I told you before, you are going to be the Alpha King's guide. Anything he needs while he is here is your responsibility. If he has any type of problem, it's going to fall on you to solve it. If you can't, then you'll face the consequences. Again, you are to not say a single word of any pack activities to him, unless I have said it's okay. Do you understand? Yes, Alpha. I understand. I keep my reply short. As much as I want to rip out of his grasp, I know when to pick my battles, and this isn't the time. Good, stand here. He will be arriving in 10 minutes. I nod slightly as he releases me, and take my place near him, with Alaric on his other side. As I stand, Alaric barks out orders to anyone else in the pack house, people approaching him left and right. He sends all who approach out on new tasks, and before I know it, it goes quiet. Deathly quiet. He must be here now. I straighten up and brush a strand of hair out of my face. I almost jump when the pack house doors open and large men walk through, their eyes inspecting every inch of the foyer. They're in casual clothes, jeans and dress shirts, which surprises me, but it doesn't make them any less intimidating. After a short moment, Nathaniel walks in, clearly have been given the okay to enter. He takes my breath away again, and I mentally smack myself to focus. He's in casual gray dress pants with a collared black dress shirt. The sleeves are rolled up, showing off his very defined forearms and his tattoos. I'm puzzled that Werewolf royalty member would have tattoos. I'm brought out of my thoughts as he gets closer to where Cole, Alaric and I are standing, and I take a quick breath to steady myself. He may be drop-dead handsome, but he's also got the power to do anything, not to mention he could enforce it himself. There's been some stories of interactions he's had with other packs, and it makes me worried for Red Moon, even though I want to leave. Cole steps ahead and bows his head to Nathaniel. Alpha Prince Nathaniel, welcome to Red Moon. He raises his gaze and Nathaniel holds his hand out and they shake, and I can't help but notice Nathaniel squeeze Cole's hand harder, clearly exerting his dominance over him. And like the weak alpha he is, Cole doesn't reciprocate. Cole clears his throat as his hand is released. This is my beta, Alaric Eston, and this as he goes to introduce me, but Nathaniel beats him to it, his deep silky voice saying my name loudly. Ivy, we've met. Glad to see you again. Cole turns his head slightly to gaze back at me with anger. Oh shit. I didn't tell Cole that Nathaniel knew of me already. Nathaniel's POV. I don't miss the angry gaze that this weak alpha gives Ivy when I say her name. The surprise in her own eyes makes my senses heighten as I can feel her unease. I was right. There is conflict with her and Cole, and it makes me wonder what else I'm sure to find while I am here. The pack itself looked fine from the view of my car, but I could tell that they were frenzied in knowing my arrival was coming earlier than planned. I do this to every pack I visit, as I want to see how they handle pressure. It's a pass, but there's still something I feel like I'm missing, and it won't be long until I figure it out. We will see if this alpha and his pack are okay for a pack merger. I take a moment to look at Ivy. She looks beautiful with her coppery waves pulled away from her face. The black jean caprice and pale blue tank top she's wearing accentuates her body perfectly, and Kiba purrs in response in my head. I bring my attention back to Cole as he's composed himself again. Ivy here is a pack representative, one of my best. She will accompany you while you're here and show you around. If you have any questions, please address them to her and she will answer what she can. If you require anything from me, my mansion is right beside our pack house to the left. He pauses, trying to gauge my reaction, but I don't give him one. He continues. There is a large BBQ set up outside in our training grounds for your first meal here tonight. I hope you have an enjoyable stay here at Red Moon, and please don't hesitate to find Alaric or myself if you need anything further. Him and his beta then turn and walk away from me, heading upstairs in their pack house. I raise my brow, a bit confused and irritated that they've just left. Were they not taught how to address royalty in our culture? Clearly not. Not only did they not wait until I addressed them, then didn't kneel for respect, and sure as hell aren't supposed to leave before I do. My frustration wanes as Ivy approaches me and lowers her head and kneels, the proper way to address me. Well, what do you know? At least someone knows, and the kicker. It's my mate who will have people addressing her the same way in the future. I feel my heart quicken in response to those thoughts. Alpha. Welcome. It takes a good amount of restraint to not reach out to her. You can rise, Ivy. Thank you for addressing me. She looks up at me as she rises to her feet, her green eyes mesmerizing me yet again. This girl is clearly going to be the death of me someday. Is there anything you would prefer to do before dinner? Alpha Nathaniel, she questions, and I smile at her, hearing her heart pick up as well. I would love a tour of the pack lands if you don't mind. She half smiles in return. Of course. Follow me please. She walks past me, and I turn to follow, all while mind linking all of my pack who are here. Do a sweep of the grounds, talk to the pack members and get to know this pack inside and out. Link me with any findings. I get multiple yes. Alphas resounding in my mind, and I follow my little songbird out the main pack house doors, happy to get some time alone with her. I need to know why she doesn't like it here. I need to make her happier. 13. Getting to know you. Ivy's POV. My heart pounds as I walk out of the pack house with Nathaniel in tow. I turn as I reach the ground from the steps, but I'm not expecting him to be right there. I bump into him slightly, and I stumble back. He reaches out and grabs my arm to steady me, and as I look at him, I feel my heart flutter. Sorry, I didn't think you'd be right behind me, I manage to say without my voice giving away my current flustered state. He laughs as he releases my arm. I shouldn't have been following so close, his voice. How is it so deep and luscious? It's insanely alluring. There's a short moment of silence, us just staring into each other's eyes, but then I remember we're outside and people can probably see us. I quickly clear my throat and turn away from him, breaking the trance that I was in. I need to get back into what I'm supposed to be doing. I sigh, mentally. This is going to be harder than I thought. But why? Nathaniel's POV. I can tell she's reacting towards me, but I'm still confused as to why she hasn't realized I'm her mate yet. Ivy is a puzzle I'm just going to have to solve, I guess. Is there anywhere specific you'd like to see first, she asks with her back to me. Show me your favorite place, I speak quietly, and she turns to face me again, her cheeks flushed pink. You want to see my favorite place, the surprise in her voice clearly evident. I nod. You're my guide, I'd love to see where you like to spend your time when you're here. Okay, I have 2, I'll show you, and I'll tell you other places as we pass. Sounds perfect to me. After you, she smiles as she starts to walk, and I follow closely behind. We walk past multiple buildings in which she describes in detail, and then I see her stiffen slightly as some other pack members walk past us. I notice she looks away from them, and I realize why, as the looks that are sent her way are of complete disgust. What happened here that she's treated so poorly from what it seems like her whole pack? This all feels so odd to me, and what really gets me is that the pack continues to treat her like this even in my presence. We continue to walk, what she describes to me as the training grounds, which Cole had said is where dinner will be this evening. She stops and stares silently into the open field where there are some pack members setting up for dinner. The sun is only starting to set, but the orange glow washes over her in her place, and she's breathtaking. I stand beside her. There's a moment of silence, and then she finally speaks. This was my favorite place to be until a while ago. I guess it still is a favorite, although I don't get to come here often. Why don't you, I ask, trying to understand why she has such sadness in her voice and on her face, but she shakes her head. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I should have just continued on. She turns to face me and smiles, but I know it's fake. She's forcing it. Keep going, she says as she turns and walks again. I follow behind, completely perplexed as to what just happened. I'm irritated at how confused I am, but I push it down. It will come out eventually. Ivy continues to show me multiple areas of the lands. We go by the pack garden, which looks magnificent. Ivy told me that she takes care of it mostly, and I can see why. It's a peaceful place, and it looks like no one in the pack comes back this way, unless absolutely necessary. We haven't passed many other pack members in the short time we've been walking around. Finally, she stops near one of the houses near the entrance to the lands that I drove in on. It's smaller than most of the other houses we've passed, but it's still got a lot of charm and it's well maintained. Flowers are blooming in planters out from of the door as we get closer. My second favorite place is in my house, actually. I didn't think that it's not a part of the pack per se. We don't have to go in. I'd love to see it, please, I say before I think, and her eyes widen in surprise. I try to recover. Only if you're comfortable. It's your home. I hope we get to see Mate's house, Kiba chimes in my thoughts, and I find myself hoping so as well. Ivy looks away, clearly contemplating her answer, and then she looks at me, her green eyes almost glittering with the sun's setting rays. Okay, come on in. She walks up to the door and opens it, and I follow her inside. The interior of the house is well maintained, clean and very homely. Hardwood flooring, muted floral paint colors on the walls in greens, yellows and pale whites. I remove my shoes out of respect after she takes off hers, and she leads me down a long hallway to a door painted with vines and flowers. This is my studio where I practice. If I'm not doing my duties in the pack, this is where I am. Her mood seems lighter, and when the door opens to all her equipment and instruments, her demeanor completely changes. She walks over to her keyboard and plucks out a few notes, the telltale tinging echoing slightly as I approach her. I can see why this would be a favorite place. It's like a little oasis in here. She smiles at me and chuckles a little. Yes, it is kind of like my little oasis, a place where I can escape my troubles, although it won't be after your visit. She looks me straight in the eyes, her eyes showing panic. What do you mean it won't be after my visit? I question, and she shakes her head. Just forget I said that. I get closer to her. Ivy, what is it? You've been tense this entire tour, and now what you've just said is making me question that there is something going on here. Something that is the Alpha King that the first should know about. My tone is stern, but she doesn't take offense. She just glances to the side. I can't say. I'm sorry. Please don't force me. Her voice wavers, and I wince at her pain. As much as I want to, as much as I need to know what the hell is happening. I restrain myself. I want her to tell me willingly. I'd never force you, but it's clear there is an issue that is affecting you. Please know that I can help you. It's my job as the future king to notice these things it packs in my lands. You can tell me anything. It will be in confidence. She still doesn't look at me, but her voice is quiet when she says, I wish I could tell you, but right now I can't. What the hell is going on? 14 connection. Ivy's POV. I wanted to tell him everything, but I couldn't. The emotion that splayed across his face when I asked him to not force me to tell him made me want to cry. He seemed really hurt by my rejection of information. I knew that he wouldn't be the type of man that could be fooled easily, but he even exceeded my expectations by catching on to something within a mere half an hour of being alone with me. Oh, how I wish I could say something. I sigh as I look around the packed training area where the BBQ dinner is in full swing, as I lean on one of the fences near the perimeter, looking in. Nathaniel and I had walked back in silence after the moment at my house in my music room. We didn't have anything else to say to each other, it seems. He had thanked me for taking him around and then had gone to go talk to Tobias and a few other members of his guard before starting to mingle with the rest of the pack members here, and I was alone yet again. I continue to look at everyone mingling, laughing and enjoying themselves near the bonfire, and the oh-so-familiar pang of jealousy rages through me. Why does everyone else get to live their lives how they want, and I'm subjected to this? Always watching, never included. I know if I were to step foot in there that all I would get would be dirty looks and whispers behind my back. My stomach grumbles as I see people eating, and I make a mental note to make myself something once this is over. I close my eyes and tilt my head up towards the sky, wishing for the moon goddess to end my suffering. Someone clears their throat near me, and I snap my eyes open and quickly look to my right, and my heart leaps into my throat. It's Nathaniel, with a plate of food in each hand. He extends one out to me and my mouth waters. Hungry, he asks in his low voice, and I nod, taking his offering of food and balancing the plate on the top of the fence. Thank you. You didn't have to, I state as he stands closer to me and sets his plate down exactly like I have mine. I noticed you weren't coming to eat, so I brought it to you. I would have just made myself something later, but I appreciate it. He doesn't ask why. He just looks at me, half smiling, seeming happy that there's food in front of me. I take a mouthful and my hunger pains start to fade. Nathaniel eats as well, and we continue like that in silence for a few moments until he speaks again. It's hard to believe that I might not experience too many moments like this again. I turn to look at him, noticing he's gazing at the now star-filled sky, the orange flames of the large bonfire illuminating his face slightly. My God, he's handsome. His tousled black hair, chiseled jaw, and those lips. Stop, Ivy. I pull myself back and quickly ask, why wouldn't you get to do things like this again? Is it because you'll be king soon? He turns and faces me and nods. When I become king, my time is going to be less and less for myself. I know it's part of the job, but it's not one I'm looking forward to. He's opening up to me. Why? I can understand that. It's like your life just becomes something completely new and not necessarily what you want. His eyes slightly widen at my response, before he says, yes. I find myself wondering sometimes if I am ready to do this, but I know I have to be for my people. I place my now empty plate on the grass before standing up again. You shouldn't worry too much about it. You seem like you've got a handle on things. From what I've heard, you're a good leader to your pack, so I am confident you'll be a great king too. He half smiles and chuckles lightly. Thank you, Ivy. I appreciate the kind words. Anytime. Nathaniel's POV. It was hard to leave her after our conversation, but I had to attend to other things, as Tobias' mind linked me with some information. I'm walking towards my town car to meet him, and my mind wanders. There is something off about this pack, and not just their treatment of Ivy. In my mere hours here, I've noticed that the pack members seem to be on edge, constantly watching over their shoulders, as if they have to watch their behavior. I'm sure Cole had told them to be on their best behavior for me, but this is something completely apart from that. These pack members don't act like a community at all. It's so strange. They try their hardest, but anyone external to this pack would see exactly what I'm seeing. Why the hell is this pack like this? I shake my head as I see Tobias waiting by the car. What did you find out? I ask quietly as I approach him. He continues through mind link. T, the new building we're staying in? It was built in only 4 weeks. N4. Are you sure? T, yes. I overheard the Beta Alaric speaking about it to a guard earlier tonight. N, so these people were worked to the bone to complete it. T, it seems that way, yes. Something isn't right here. I don't think a pack merger is smart here. I know it's your decision ultimately, but I have a bad feeling about this place. N, I appreciate your opinion, you know that. I feel the same way as you. Something is wrong here. I was hoping to get some information out of Ivy, but she's just as tight-lipped as the other members here. T, something's off surrounding her too. Cole is awfully weary of her and her actions. N, they don't like each other, that's for sure. Anyways, keep your ears to the ground and let me know of anything else you find out. I'm going to retire for the night. T, you got it, Alpha. Have a good night. N, thank you, Tobias. You too. Don't party too hard. He laughs out loud. Never he walks past and places his hand on my shoulder and squeezes lightly before walking off. I turn my attention to the building that houses my room for the week and make my way there. My keycard clicks into the door, and I open it. My bags were already brought in here when I arrived, and I notice them sitting on the made bed. I decide to unpack, then shower and retire for the evening. Once my items are where I'd like them, I go into the bathroom. I don't see any towels, so I go check the 2 closets in the room. Nothing. I see a phone on the small desk near the bed and decide to call the programmed number. After a couple of rings, a very familiar voice answers it with a hello. Ivy's POV. Hello, I answer the phone politely, as I'm unsure which guest this could be. Ivy. I could never miss that voice. Alpha Nathaniel. Why are you answering the phone? Oh, I am in charge of guest services in the new building. Is there something you need? I was going to shower before going to bed, but there aren't any towels in my suite. Oh, fuck. I forgot towels. I put my head in my opposite hand and internally smack myself. I am so sorry for that. I'll be right over with some. Be there shortly. Thanks, Ivy. See you soon. Click. I shoot up from the couch in my house, throw my hair up into a messy bun and head out the door. I get to the new building as quickly as I can and go to the storage room on the main floor, grabbing 4 gray towels and hopping into the elevator. The oh-so-familiar ding hits on the 10th floor, and I make my way to the last door. I sigh and I look down. I forgot to change out of my sweatpants. Good one, Ivy. Could this be any more embarrassing? No going back now. I bite my lip and knock on the door. A few seconds pass and it opens to reveal Nathaniel, in a black muscle shirt, his full tattoos and muscular upper body mostly on display. God damn. Ivy. That was quick. Come on, and I walk past and immediately head into the bathroom and put the towels onto the rack. I turn to rush back out so he doesn't have a change to judge my clothes, and I don't get far. I slam right into Nathaniel, yet again. He grasps my shoulders to steady me. I can't believe I've done this so many times, twice today. You okay? I can hear he's trying not to laugh at me. I try to calm my racing heart, but I'm unsuccessful, and I nod. Yes, I am so sorry. I keep bumping into you like that. He laughs. If you weren't in such a rush to get out of here, you probably wouldn't have. Great. He's calling me out. I laugh sheepishly. Sorry, I just didn't want to take up much more of your time. I already messed up with the towels, so I trail off as his hands clasp over mine, that I just now realize I've placed on his chest yet again. His hands are warm, and I can't stop the slight gasp that escapes me as he drops my hands and cups my face, his eyes burning into mine, and I can't look away. His blue eyes are like ocean waters, and my God, they're mesmerizing. We stand like that for a few moments, and then he backs away with a frustrated sigh. He grabs my hands again and places a light kiss on each of my palms. Thank you for taking care of this for me, Ivy. I clear my throat and reply. Not a problem, Alpha. I sure as hell don't want to leave now. 15 Confusion and torment. Ivy's POV. It's now been a few days since Alpha Nathaniel arrived, and thankfully it's been quiet. Alaric and Cole haven't even been bugging me as much as they usually do, and I really only have Nathaniel to thank for that. His presence has lessened a lot of my daily torment. I don't know what I'm doing concerning my escape. My bag is still packed and sitting by the window, but honestly I don't think I'm going to be leaving anytime soon. Everyone is on high alert, so there is no way that I would make it out unnoticed. The tension is thick, since Alpha Nathaniel is so stone-faced about what he's thinking. He is to let Cole and the pack know if he is approving the merger by the end of his visit. No one has any idea of what he's heard or seen, and if he has heard or seen anything, he's doing a hell of a job keeping his poker face intact. I sigh loudly as I roll over in my bed. Even I'm confused and in the dark. I've been trying to not think of it, but the way that Nathaniel interacts with me is so different from how he is with others. It's not hard to notice that he's attempting to keep a safe distance from me and slipping up like he did when I delivered the towels to him. I did end up leaving afterwards, but I saw the pain in his face when I said goodbye. There's a clear attraction between us, but I don't know if it's something that he wants to pursue. He's a future king. What the hell would he want with a lowly, wolfless girl like me? I snap out of it as Evie enters my room. I sit up and look at her worried face. Cole wants to see you. I guess I spoke too soon. I exhale deeply as I stand waiting in the garden. I know exactly why he wants to meet me here. Hardly anyone comes by here, and I'm sure he doesn't expect Nathaniel to be here either. I hear footsteps behind me, and I turn quickly and glance to the ground. I stay quiet. My instincts are telling me this isn't going to bode well for me. And I'm right. Cole grabs me roughly by my shirt, and then wraps his hand around my neck. I look up then, his eyes full of anger. My heart picks up pace and beats wildly. What did you tell him? What? What? I didn't say anything to him. Nothing at all. I did what you said. My voice shakes slightly, but I keep myself composed. He didn't approve the pack merger. You had one job, he screams in my face, and I wince as he roughly shoves me back. I stumble. He didn't, I question, and I am secretly relieved. No other pack deserves to have him as their alpha. No, he didn't, based on the grounds that my pack fears me and isn't a community. I can't help myself and I chuckle slightly. Cole's eyes widen and he looks at me with fury. What the fuck is so funny? I stand tall, knowing full well I'm going to regret this. You are. It's a joke that you think that Alpha Nathaniel would even consider a pack merger with how you run this pack. He clearly sees through the pathetic facade you've been trying so hard to maintain and knows exactly what kind of alpha you are. He glares at me, asking, and what kind of alpha am I? I scoff. A fucking shit one. It's then he lunges at me. Nathaniel's POV. Well, Alpha Cole did not like that I came to my decision regarding the pack merger only 3 days into my visit. He took the news exactly how I thought he would, with a stone expression that showed all of his displeasure. There is no way that I would give him control over another full pack. Absolutely not. I can't even call this a pack. Whatever the hell goes on here is just insanity, and I would be just as insane to allow more wolves to be under his rule here. He may not like it, but my voice is absolute. You've been keeping your distance from her, Tobias says quietly, and I sigh, still frustrated at myself. We're out walking the pack boundaries, discussing the events that have transpired, and of course Ivy is one of them. Yes, I can't control myself around her, but this is torture as well. Just think of when you won't have to tiptoe around her. Oh, believe me, that's all that is keeping me sane. Suddenly, I pick up on raised voices coming from near Ivy's house. I stop and listen. Tobias must hear it too as he goes quiet and looks at me. We both turn and head towards the sounds. We get closer and I recognize Cole's agitated voice, and then I recognize Ivy's. As we approach, Tobias pulls me behind the big tree that is just outside the garden perimeter. Keeping our distance, we listen. I hear Ivy laugh. Cole asks her what's funny, and then what comes out of her mouth next has me almost cheering. You are. It's a joke that you think that Alpha Nathaniel would even consider a pack merger with how you run this pack. He clearly sees through the pathetic facade you've been trying so hard to maintain and knows exactly what kind of alpha you are. Do it. Ask her. I want to hear what she says. I smirk as he does exactly what a weak alpha would do to a she-wolf who is threatening his masculinity. And what kind of alpha am I? A fucking shit one. He lunges at her, and before I know it, Tobias is pulling me back. Just watch. I know it's hard. I'm recording it. He tells me via mind link. I watch her dodge his advances, getting a couple of hits in, and I instantly know she's a fighter. I can't help but feel pride in her defending herself, but my pride turns into worry when I see her fatiguing only after a mere few minutes of dodging him. She shouldn't be tired already. She's a wolf. My mate. I growl low as Cole gets his hands on her and wrenches her arms behind her back, pushing her to the ground on her knees. He kicks her back, and she rolls onto her stomach, pulling her knees in to protect herself from any further kicks. I hear her cry out as his foot connects with her face, and it takes everything in me to not rush over to her, to defend her from this piece of shit. Cole stands over her, his voice still raised with anger. You may think I'm a shit alpha, but at the end of the day I am an alpha. You are nothing to me, to this pack. I own you for what you did, and lucky for me you keep fighting. It only makes it more of a fun game. He spits at her, and then brushes himself off and walks away, leaving Ivy writhing in pain from her injuries in the middle of the garden. We will kill him, Kiba roars in my head, and I can't help but agree. This fucker is going to hurt for what he's done. I watch as Ivy pulls herself up onto her knees, and the pain in her face is clearly evident. Her shoulders shudder, and I know she's holding back her tears, trying to keep her composure. She wipes her face, exhales, and stands, taking a few steps to test her balance. She winces as she tries to walk, and I growl low again. But it must not have been low enough, as her eyes shoot up and connect with mine. Oh shit. 16 Aftermath. Ivy's POV. My heart beats wildly in my chest as my eyes meet his. He saw the whole damn thing. Or at least I think he did. I don't want to have to explain what the hell just happened. Not after I just got my ass kicked in front of him. That's what you're worried about? I stand there, frozen, just looking at him. What the hell do I do? I don't get to choose, as Nathaniel and Tobias both make their way over to me. I don't even bother running away, not like I could anyway. They've got their wolves, I don't. Obviously, Nathaniel gets to me first, and I watch as his eyes scan over me, clearly checking me over to see if I'm okay. Before he can speak, I do. I'm okay, my voice comes out barely a whisper, the embarrassment and anxiety taking over. Ivy, what happened? Tobias speaks, drawing my attention to him. His eyes are soft and full of worry. I try to shift my weight and stumble, and both Tobias and Nathaniel grab a hold of each of my arms to steady me. I hear an exasperated sigh come from Nathaniel, and it's just too much. Just don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'll be fine once I get home. Let us help you, Nathaniel speaks then, and I turn slightly to look at him. No, you've helped enough. If you haven't noticed, I'm the community punching bag around here. Anytime someone is pissed or isn't pleased with my duties or chores, well, you saw what happens. I won't say any more. This isn't okay, Ivy. No alpha should be abusing his pack members, Tobias states, and it takes everything in me to not roll my eyes. I'm well aware of that, Tobias, but that doesn't stop it from happening. I'm not considered part of the pack, so no one cares. Why? It's an abrupt question from Nathaniel as he moves to stand in front of me. I want to know why you're treated like this. I'm not talking about it. It's not worth a damn thing to try and explain myself. Both of you will just see things as everyone else does, and I don't think I could handle that. Tears brim in my eyes, and I clear my throat to keep them from falling. Please, just help me get home. I don't want to get into this. Tobias and Nathaniel look at each other, clearly torn on whether to accommodate my request. I sigh and start to walk, wobbling as I go, and it's only seconds before either of them is by my side, helping me walk home. The short walk is done in complete silence, and soon enough we're at the door. Nathaniel knocks on it loudly, and Genevieve opens the door, and her shocked expression says it all. Come on, just set her on the couch. I'll look her over. Nathaniel then picks me up bridal style, keeping me close to his chest as he carries me. I look up at him and whisper, You don't have to do this. He looks down at me as he places me onto the couch and leans into my ear. Yes, I do. He quickly moves aside as Evie comes out with her first aid bag and sits beside me on the couch. I see Kane standing in the hallway as Evie turns my face to inspect where Cole kicked me. His blank expression worries me, as I know he's clearly raging inside. He's seen this too many times. What happened? Genevieve questions, and Nathaniel speaks for me. Her and Cole argued, then Cole attacked her, kicked her to the ground and kept going. Got her face pretty good. I can hear the anger and strain in his voice. The look Genevieve gives me makes me shake my head. She continues to look me over, her hands pushing and poking and inspecting. I'm not telling him. There's no telling what he would do and what that would lead to for me. There's nothing good that will come out of it. I wince as she pushes onto my side and I grit my teeth. Possible broken rib. Your face should be okay, same with everything else. Just badly bruised mostly. I'll get you bandaged up and then you're resting until you're healed. Cole can eat shit, I chuckle, and then regret it as searing pain shoots up my side and I groan. Genevieve stands and faces Nathaniel and Tobias. Thank you for bringing her back. Could you please go outside with Kane while I bandage her? I look at Nathaniel then, and his pained face makes me want to reach out to him, but I don't. Of course. Please let us know if you need any additional help. I will. Genevieve leaves then to get the bandages, and I see Kane walk over and escort the men out the front door. I sigh and lean my head back on the couch. Nathaniel's POV. I try to keep calm as I walk outside of the house with Kane and Tobias. Kiba is pacing in my mind, infuriated that I allowed our mate to get hurt. Thank you for taking care of her, Kane says, and I look up to meet his gaze. This isn't new, is it? I ask, and he shakes his head and sighs, his shoulders sagging in defeat. No, it isn't. Evie is fixing her up at least every other week. She doesn't heal as fast as the rest of us, so it takes a bit more TLC for her to get back on her feet. I tilt my head in confusion as his reply and his eyes widen. Sorry. There's a lot of things you don't know. It's hard to keep track of who knows things and who doesn't. But I'm also ready to rip Cole's head off, so that's probably contributing to me telling you all of this. Why doesn't she heal? Tobias asks, and Kane's answer makes me even more angry. Her wolf is suppressed. She has no abilities, senses. I don't know if you noticed the bangles on her wrists. I nod, now realizing that they are more than what I ever thought they were. She's bound with silver, has been for 6 years. Her wolf is pretty much non-existent at this point. Who bound her? I ask through gritted teeth. He locks eyes with me. Who do you think? 17, needing more answers. Nathaniel's POV. I pace around my room at the visitor building while Tobias is sitting on the small couch in here. I could hardly sleep the night before, and I called Tobias into my room to discuss things since my mind is racing and it's taking a lot of my willpower to not just go over to Cole's office, raging at what happened the night previous with Ivy. She's bound with silver. That's such an ancient punishment. It's also pretty much illegal. No packs have used that punishment since the war with the witch covens generations ago, I state, and he gives me a solemn look. The question is, what did she do for Cole to apply that punishment to her? I looked into our records and there isn't a report of anything severe from this pack. A few thefts and other small petty shit, but nothing that even comes close to needing to bind a wolf with silver to suppress them. I'm wondering the same thing. But we know Cole won't admit it, and as the things look now, Ivy won't either. We might be able to get it out of Kane or Genevieve, but I don't want to break her trust like that. I roll my head side to side, trying to release the tension I am holding. Who thought having a mate would be this stressful? I've got to get her alone somehow and get her to trust and open up to me. I pace more and try to think of how I can get her alone without Cole being aware. I don't know how much time passes, but I stop dead in my tracks as Tobias shoots up from the couch. What I question, the eerie smile forming on his face making me slightly uncomfortable. You said this year that the mating ball retreat wasn't going to happen, right? I shrug. Well, yeah, there wasn't much interest in it this year due to the drama that happened last year with those who were invited. Obviously, she's your mate, but no one else has to know that. What the hell are you saying, Tobias? I question, not fully grasping his plan. Keep the retreat on. Since you're Ivy's mate, she won't have another one at the ball. That way she can be invited and go to the retreat and be away from Red Moon and Cole for 2 weeks. With you. It's then that I smile. What in the hell would I do without you? Tobias laughs. I honestly don't know. It's a good plan. I'll have a better chance of getting her alone and building up trust with her when she doesn't have to look over her shoulder. Precisely. Let's just hope that nothing interferes with her getting to the mating ball, Tobias says as he walks to my door. I follow behind him. I've got that covered already. I talked to my mother and she wasn't opposed to Ivy performing at the mating ball, so she will technically be a hired staff member. So I'll just have to remind Cole of that before I leave. Tobias laughs again, twisting the door handle. Well, there you go. Seems like some things are falling into place now. Yes, thank you, my friend. Talk to you tomorrow. He nods and walks out, the door closing with a small click. Ivy's POV. I'm so angry with myself. Why did I have to push Cole? Why do I keep doing it? Why can't I keep my head down and just survive? It's not in your nature. I groan as I roll over in bed, the dull ache in my side protesting at the movement. I still can't believe that Nathaniel saw the whole thing and hasn't made a spectacle of Cole. It's been eerily quiet, but also, I've been in bed, so I can't really say that it's been quiet all over the pack. It's just been quiet for me. With my side still protesting, I push myself up into a sitting position and see the state that is my hair in the full-length mirror across the room. Dear God. There's a small knock at my door, and then Evie walks in with a small tray of breakfast food. I smile at her. How are you feeling this morning? Better. That's good. Here's some food. She places the tray down near me on my bed and then sits beside me, reaching up to turn my face from side to side to examine it. It's not that bad today. Bruising definitely there, but the swelling went down, so that's good. There's a small moment of silence and I take her hand and squeeze it gently. You can tell me what's on your mind. I won't be offended. She looks at me sternly, clearly debating on whether to say anything. You could have told Nathaniel everything. Then he would have done something about it. I sigh. I honestly don't know if he would have done anything about it. I don't know him enough to be comfortable revealing everything to him. Who knows? He could have taken it either way, and I wasn't willing to risk it. I can understand that, Ivy. I just want this to end for you, and end well. She leans in and hugs me. You're so strong. It amazes me every day that you get up and keep going. I know it's been hard for you over the past year or so, but I just want you to know that your effort and strength isn't going unnoticed. You've got that right, Evie Kane states as he walks in and stands near us. You are one of the toughest she-wolves I know, Ivy. Don't let that asshat of an alpha get to you. One day you'll kick his ass, and it will feel so good. And I'll be cheering from the sidelines. I half smile. You guys are too good to me. You deserve friendship. Anyone who says otherwise is an idiot, Kane says as he heads back towards the door. I'm glad you're okay, though. Tobias and Nathaniel seemed pretty angry and worried about you. I'm sure they would like to see that you're okay. I sigh, contemplating if I want to go see them, but I know I should, at least to say thank you. I guess I'll eat my breakfast and then head over. Sounds like a good plan for the day, Evie states, and her and Kane smile as they leave me to eat. 18 Rest up, little songbird. Ivy's POV. My heart pounds as I walk out of the elevator, my shoes scuffling the carpeted hallway as I make my way down to Alpha Nathaniel's room. I really debated coming over here still looking battered and bruised, but as Kane and Evie said, I really should say thank you to them for looking after me and making sure I got home all right after Cole's beating. I get to the end of the hallway, and I stand and stare blankly at the door. A few moments pass while I try to contemplate what I could possibly say to Nathaniel. Hey, thanks for saving my ass. Good Lord, I can't do this. It's embarrassing enough that I did get my ass beat with him watching, but now I've got to relive it again. I shake my head. With my fear getting the best of me, I go to turn away from the door and walk away, but I stop as the door opens suddenly and I'm face to face with Nathaniel in all his blue-eyed glory. He's in a black t-shirt and blue distressed jeans, his hair damp and slightly falling in his face. We stare at each other for a few moments before he asks, Ivy, would you like to come in? I nod sheepishly, and he steps aside, and I walk past into his room. I hear the door shut quietly behind me, and I turn back to face him again. He approaches me slowly, his eyes never leaving my face. I go to speak, but I'm silenced as he reaches up to caress my face, running his thumb under my right eye. "Does it hurt?" he asks, and it's hard to not notice the twinge of emotion in his voice. I shake my head. "It's okay, just tender with the bruising." "I wish that this didn't happen to you," he says as he lowers his hand, and I catch myself missing the warmth of his hand. "I'm used to it," I say, and his face tenses and he frowns. "You shouldn't be. I came by to say thank you for helping me. As much as I didn't want you to witness how I'm treated, I'm glad it was you and Tobias who came to my aid." "You don't need to thank me," he states, and I shake my head. "Yes, I do. You helped me even though I am a complete stranger. You had no obligation, and I'm thankful." Suddenly, his phone rings and he glances at me. "Go ahead, answer. I'm okay," he half smiles as he looks at the number and answers on speaker. He says hello, and then a melodious female voice speaks back. "Nathaniel, my son. How is your visit going at Red Moon?" Oh my God, it's his mom, the Queen. I go to head towards the door, but Nathaniel quickly blocks my path with his huge body and shakes his head as he responds to his mother. "Hello, Mother, my visit is going well. I'm sure by now you've heard of my decision regarding the merger, I take it." "Yes, I just heard. I just want to make sure that you're confident in your decision so early." "I am, Mother. I've got one of the pack members here. Her name is Ivy. I spoke to you about her performing for the mating ball. She's the vocalist I saw at Iron Wolf." My eyes go wide, and I manage to say at a decent volume for her to hear, "Hello, Your Majesty." "Oh, Ivy, yes. Nathaniel told me all about how wonderful your singing voice is. Are you willing to come perform a few songs for me and my husband? We would love to hear you before the mating ball." Nathaniel smirks at me as I feel the blood rising to my cheeks, and of course I stutter in my response. Of course. As long as the alpha of my pack okays it, I should be able to come to see you and the king." "Oh, nonsense, you don't need his permission. When Nathaniel comes back home after his visit, just tag along with him. You don't mind, do you, Nathaniel?" I raise my hands, but before I can protest to him with gestures, he responds, "Of course not, Mother. Ivy and I will see you in a few days, then." "Perfect. We look forward to it. See you both soon. Love you." "Love you too, Mother. Bye." Click. "What makes you think that Cole will let me leave after what you witnessed yesterday?" I blurt, my emotions clearly in turmoil. He chuckles. "Cole doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have power over me, and it's for an event that his pack is attending this year. It would be stupid of him to reject your attendance. He's all about appearances, and it would look bad on him." I stare at him in silence, just completely and utterly shocked that I'll be going to meet the king and queen. "Don't look so shocked. My parents are really nice," he says as he goes and sits down on the couch. I follow and sit down across from him, crossing my legs to try and cover my nerves. "You guys are wolf royalty. It's hard to not feel something about going to meet them." "That is true, but I promise you've got nothing to worry about." I scrunch my face slightly as I process his statement. "Okay, I'm trusting you, don't make me regret it." I pause for a few seconds and then ask, "How long will we be gone?" "Only a few days max. You'll meet my parents, and then we will go over the plan for the ball, performance times, etc. houses, unless you want to stay until the actual ball. It's only a little over a week away, so it might be better to just stay until then to reduce travel time. Up to you, though." "Stay a whole week? Could I?" Before I can really stop myself, I agree. "I mean, if it's okay with your parents and you, I would like to stay." Nathaniel smiles at me then, and I feel warm inside. "I'm sure it won't be a problem. I'll probably have work and things to do, but you're welcome to come stay as my guest." I need the break from here. "I don't care. I'll take any chance I get." "Do you have a dress for the ball?" he asks, and I nod. "Okay, bring it with you and it'll be cleaned and ready for when you're done performing. Did you want to wear a different dress to perform?" I look up and think, possibly my dress I have now possibly wouldn't be ideal for singing, but I don't know if I could afford one. Nathaniel shakes his head. "We can go look for one, or my mother and my sister Talia will help you." I guess it's settled, then I state, and he smiles again, directly at me and I adjust my position on the couch before standing. Nathaniel stands after me, but I wobble a bit, and he's at my side immediately. "You okay?" I nod, feeling my head starting to pound. "Just tired, I need to get back to rest. Evie said I took a bad hit to my head, so I need to take it easy." I go to walk again, but I wobble again, and Nathaniel shakes his head. "You can just rest here. I'll let Genevieve know." I look up at him, my head aching. "I couldn't. You've probably got things to do." "Nothing I can't do while you sleep. Just come on," I sigh and walk with him past the couches and into the back bedroom of his room. He walks with me over to the bed and pulls back the covers, and I settle in. He covers me up and sits beside me, pushing my hair out of my face. "Rest now. I'm here if you need anything. Promise." I feel my eyes getting heavy as he looks at me, and I nod. "Thank you." I start to fade, and I swear I hear him say, "Rest up, little songbird."